Rockeyez would like to welcome Steve Blaze, Lillian Axe. Hey, man, what's up?
How you doing, Brian? Good to talk to you, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, One Night in the Temple. Tell me a little bit about the CD, acoustic work, and stuff like this. This is your second live album, but I guess the first acoustic, right?
Yeah, we initially I had the idea that I wanted to have a very small, maybe 20 people, intimate type of environment where we, sat down with maybe 20 people and just me, Sam, and Brian playing, and just kind of make it real small and go through a lot of our songs and just, show the strength of the songs through simplicity and make it a real small, intimate thing. We just thought that would be really cool to make a DVD of something like that. Then it started to blossom, and the next thing you know, we're having contest winners, and it's turning into the whole band playing, and we're going to do it in the studio and cater it and do a question and answer and make a whole event out of it, like a 6-hour event.
Right.
And so it just kept growing and growing, and the next thing you know, we've got the CD and the documentary, and the whole show is filmed with, in between each song is footage, backstage, interviews, footage of us setting up and rehearsing for the shows, and it made a whole, like I said, documentary on the whole event.
Right.
And we spent a long time working on this thing. There was a lot of details that had to be taken care of, but it wound up being one of the most monumental things we had ever done.
Right. Now the band started in 1983. You've been in the music business now, what, 30-plus years?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
I'm sure lots of things have changed, but
Yeah.
is it still exciting, when you step on that stage, or what?
Absolutely. I mean, we just, since we had our car wreck in August, we didn't play for 8 months, and this past month we got back out and we've done 4 shows, and it's just been so much fun. I mean, there's been no changes whatsoever. I still get excited every time we get on stage. I'm still, the guy walking around all day long making sure all the details are taken care of, and this is done, and merch is here, and the crew is taken care of, and the band's where they need. I'm like, if I couldn't play anymore, I'd be the best tour manager on the planet. But it is still very exciting, and I think one of the best parts for me is dealing with the fans and talking to people and just seeing their reaction and their stories about how they've related to us and stuff like that. That's the stuff that really gets me going.
It must be really cool. Like last year or the year before, you played Starland Ballroom here in New Jersey, and once you walk on stage, all you hear is Steve's like they're personal friends almost.
Yeah.
And like it got to be a good feeling.
It really is. It's a good feeling because you realize that you've done some stuff, and it's almost kind of humiliating sometimes. Not humiliating. I should use a better term than that. It gives me humility. Okay. Right. When I hear stuff like that, because to me, I'm playing guitar and writing songs and performing. That's great.
Right.
But, people, they feel like they're your friend because they relate to you, and sometimes I feel like, wow, kind of just playing guitar, guys. It's cool, but, you get the people that really just relate to that, and I've always kind of battled with, am I that important to them in their lives? And I realize that, what, sometimes you're the most important thing to them, because them being able to relate to your feelings about things. I hear story after story from people how my songs have helped them through some of the worst times in their life, and I'm like, wow, because I'm looking at real heroes are doctors,
right?
And firefighters and police and people that are saving lives and out there saving lives. But you know what, Steve, in a certain way, man, you've saved some souls and some lives,
right,
with your band and your music, So I don't take it. I do take it seriously. I don't just shun it like I don't have a responsibility. That's an important thing to me, is that if I can do things that help people go through tough times, because the songs that help them, they've helped me. That's why I wrote them, because they helped me get through tough things.
Right.
So it is though very cool when people, they come up and they meet me. I mean people in the grocery store every day, and they're just nice, and it's just, you know, I thank them for saying hi to me, you know.
Right.
So it gives me a lot of humility when that happens.
Right. I mean, like, going back to the Starland Ballroom again, and like, you know, no matter what, if you're walking and someone wants to talk, it always seems like, you know, you're obliging, you know, to the fans or friends or whatever. You know, you don't say, oh, hold on a second, I got to go do something. You know, it looked like you walk up to people and just, you know, give them what they want.
Oh, I do, because I've had experiences where people that I tried to do that to dismissed me,
right?
And for whatever reasons, and I just thought that was, and it always, whether it was, you know, they were really busy or not, it always kind of left a sour taste. And unless something's majorly urgent, I'll stop and talk to them every single time, because I get happiness out of that too, and I know that it means a lot to those people too. So, and it's cool. I like people. I like cool people, and so I love stopping and talking to people. I do it all the time, and it's an honor that somebody, you know, feels a certain way enough about you that they want to exchange words with you, shake your hand. So,
right.
You know, the other night was a prime example of that. I mean, there were a lot of people. We hadn't played in Jackson, Mississippi in a long time, and there were just people everywhere. And I kept turning around, and I was laughing. I said, "Hey guys, if I'm missing you, it's just because I'm overwhelmed right now. I'm just so happy to be here." And, you know, and I had one guy pulling me to do an interview, and I kept having to put him off. He said, "Hey, I'll be right there. I'll be right back." And then everybody kept coming up, but I handled it, and that's how you do it. And if people understand, you know, that, you know, hey, look, you know, he's got to do this right now. If I have to do something where I miss you for a second, I'd say, I'll be back in a minute.
Right.
Or make sure you come find me after or whatever.
Right.
So we can talk. And I do it as much as humanly possible.
Cool, cool. Now, even when you're on the tour bus and you look out there and like you're after the show and you know, you're sweating and stuff like that, and there's a big line by your bus, I guess almost like you have no choice, do you?
Oh no, I go out. I don't have to be pretty to go out and talk to people. As a matter of fact, we make it a habit that after every show, we go in the dressing room, we sit down, we breathe for 5 minutes, we change, and then 10, 15 minutes later, we go out to the merch booth, and we go meet people every single night. It's part of our show. So,
cool.
You know, and sometimes some people go, "Man, you got to have some more mystery, you know, you got to like hide out." No, you don't.
Right.
You know, you can have aura about you standing next to somebody 24 hours a day. You can still have an aura about you, and still have your personality is what counts, not hiding out from people to make them think you're mysterious. That's phony.
Right. Now, let's go back to One Night in the Temple again. It's actually a 3-disc set, right? 2 CDs?
Yeah, it's 2 CDs,
uh-huh.
and the DVD or Blu-ray.
Right. Wow, that got to be a great package. I haven't seen it yet, but it comes out, what, the 27th?
27th, yeah. It really is a great package. There's bonus live footage. There's 2 videos from the last album on there, and there's the whole 1-hour question and answer session is on. Now that's all on the Blu-ray. The DVD has bonus features, but it's a little less. It's like 1 live and 1 2 studio. I think it's 2 studio, or maybe 1 of the studio DVDs. We just on the DVD you've got less room.
Right.
And it's all in high def. And the documentary itself is really cool because it has clips from the question and answer in it, and interviews with the band and me, and footage of us rehearsing, and footage of the setup, and, you know,
wow,
footage after the show of us hanging out with the fans, and it's just really, it's neat. It's not boring, you know, like you sit through a 2-hour concert sometimes. I don't care if it's Elvis and Hendrix playing together. It gets a little boring after a little while, you know. So we tried to make it interesting in between songs with additional footage, and I think it worked out real well.
Wow, that got to be amazing, you know, watching on a widescreen TV with high def. And I mean,
well, let me tell you what was cool, man. They did the Paragon Casino in Marksville did a movie premiere of it, where they put it on. We had a bunch of contest winners, and they came in and had 3 big movie screens playing it with the surround sound inside the theater.
Wow.
And that was awesome. I mean, that was incredible. You're in there with 200 people watching it, and, you know, and they're all cheering between songs and laughing and cutting up, and I'm just like looking around the whole time and watching people's reaction and stuff. It was really cool.
Cool. Now, if you pre-order, is there an autograph, package or something?
There is through Newberry Comics. There is.
Right.
So I don't know how many they have left, but that was one of the things we do with Newberry all the time. Is we sign about 200 advance copies.
Cool.
And if you get it, that you can get it. But if you're not, come see us live and we'll sign everything.
Cool. Now, what label is this on?
CME Records through Megaforce with Sony.
Right.
Sony Red distribution.
Cool.
And it's in cargo in Europe and Japan.
Wow. Now, I was reading this morning something about Here I Go Again.
Yeah, these guys, I met them several years ago. They've been working on this for a while. And it's about these guys that used to have a band back in the 80s, and now they're trying to put the band back together. And there's a lot of cameos and appearances from different rock musicians, myself included. And they're actually, I hooked them up with Peavey since I am endorsed by them, and I play all their products. And I hooked them up, and Peavey's helping them out, and they're coming down in a few weeks. I'm going to take them to Peavey, and I guess they're going to give them some gear, and I'm going to do some more interviews, and they're trying to get this movie off the ground.
Cool.
But really nice guys, and it's going to be a funny movie. It's going to be cool. So,
wow.
Anything I do to help those guys out, I am.
That's great. Now, Brian Jones, how much of an impact has he made on the band since joining?
Well, the big thing about Brian off the bat was his enthusiasm and eagerness. I mean, he really wanted this thing so bad. He was all over me. I mean, calls every day. And that impressed me before I even heard him sing. So when he started getting into it, I realized, man, this guy's got a fantastic voice, and he's a good front man. But, we were fortunate that when Derek took Ron Taylor's place, Derek sounded a lot like Ron Taylor.
Right.
So Brian doesn't necessarily sound like Ron Taylor. But as he started doing the catalog stuff, it was like, wow, you're nailing it, and you don't necessarily have the same exact tonal qualities of Ron, but you're making these songs sound fantastic. And let me hear what you do with something brand new. And then when we started demoing Days Before Tomorrow, and I was like, yeah, this is the guy. And so now with One Night in the Temple, where he's singing Ghost of Winter and Dying to Live and World Stop Turning and just knocking it out of the park, I'm getting, people are going like, you know what, that guy he's killing these songs. He said, even the doubters who, at first, no matter if it could have been Pavarotti coming in, they would have said, nah, we don't like it,
Right.
You're going to get that when people are so into a certain thing and it changes, they're automatically going to be very reluctant to the new change. It's human nature. But Brian proved himself what he did on Days Before Tomorrow. Now him coming in and doing his versions of all the catalog stuff and really doing a fantastic job, he has solidified his place, and I think there's going to be a lot of naysayers that are going to come back and say, okay, you were right.
Wow. I don't know what they're hearing, but I mean, when I listen to him, he reminds me of Lane Staley, of Alice in Chains and
right.
Stuff like that. He the songs, when I was watching some of the stuff on YouTube, it's like really emotional, at least for me.
He is. It is really, and I'm very, very fortunate and blessed to, have him in the band, and he's very enthusiastic and stuff. He's a great guy, and he's really coming into his own, and I feel like I feel good about that because I was really hard on him, and I still am as far as like achievements are concerned.
Right.
And I push him hard because I know how good he is.
Right.
And sometimes, I know how good he is, and he doesn't know as much as he doesn't see himself like I do. Like I'm like, man, look, you're a beast.
Wow.
Well, I think I'm good, but I'm like, all right. Keep your humility about you. That's a beautiful thing, but you just, you give it, you just keep doing this, man. Keep your head on straight.
Right.
I'm like his dad, because,
wow.
he was like, I got pictures of him when he was underage with his dad taking him to come see us play and me sign autographs for him back, when he was not, too young to get into places.
Right.
And so, I'm like everybody's mentor, so it's cool. It's a good thing.
A lot of people look up to you.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
I just think it's the person that you are, like I said, obliging to other people and stuff like that, the way you act on stage, the way you act off stage. I think, a lot of people respect you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. It means a lot. I'm fortunate, that I had my mom and dad, great role models. My dad especially. He passed away 10 years ago, but he really did teach me that nothing's important without people, your family, your friends, people around you. And and I'm born again Christian too, and I try to I pray and I have a relationship with God and try to live as the way that he would want me to live.
Cool.
Now, I screw up a lot, no doubt about it. No doubt, man. I watch myself. Sometimes I got a mouth like a sailor, but at the end of the day,
it's cool.
It's all about us taking care of each other.
Cool. Now, what about a tour?
We have a new agency now, and we're actually in talks with them now. We want to concentrate now, starting like in August on, as soon as this record gets out, with Texas through Florida, and really rebuilding down in the South down here, looking at some package possibilities to branch out. It's really tough to just do like we've done in the past and go beat up the country for 6 weeks playing everywhere. We want to put a package tour together. We're looking at trying to get on as many festivals and fairs as possible too. There are a few festivals. We're doing that 180s in the Park in Melbourne in September, and we're trying to get on M3 and Monsters of Rock Cruise, the ones coming up next year. And those kind of things we want to do. In the meantime, we want to really concentrate on playing more, but in these down in the southeastern part of the country to build where our following's always been the strongest. But we will go out and do runs here and there. Just depends on what kind of package it's part of, or if it financially makes sense to do that.
Right.
And then I'm starting to write the next album right now too. So hopefully I'll have that done by the end of the year.
Cool. Well, congratulations on One Night in the Temple. Sounds like a great package for fans, and I think they'll appreciate it. It's always great talking to you, Steve. And
same here, man. You're one of those bright spots, brother. I appreciate it, man. And you just look. Let's don't forget about what you guys, Rockeyez, are doing, man. You're always there. You're in the midst of everything, and you're keeping the flame lit, man. And that's very, very important.
Wow.
Without guys like you, we have no way of reaching our friends out there. So you just keep doing what you're doing. And,
well, I definitely appreciate that, because I mean, even last year you invited us on your tour bus, and we had fun. We had a blast.
Absolutely,
it was a lot of fun, and I thank you for that.
Anytime, my friend. And you got my number. You know where to reach me. Anything I can do for you, do not hesitate. Keep me posted. I'll be around.
Cool. You want to say anything to the fans out there?
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. This One Night in the Temple, it really means a lot to us because we put a lot of time into it. It's 2 CDs, 20 songs, including one version of Nobody Knows where the crowd sings by themselves. We have a violin guest appearance, a lady named Annie Bridges on Day I Met You. Johnny Vines, the very first singer before we got signed, he comes in and sings 2 songs. We have the family of Trip Roth is there when we do Bow Your Head for him, and it's just a very entertaining DVD documentary because it's lots of backstage footage and extra bonus features, and the album really sounds good, and it's a whole different angle on the songs we've put out over the last 25 years. And thanks for everything. Just guys out there, keep on calling radio stations, call the festivals, call the clubs, request Lillian Axe, and stay faithful to Rockeyez too as well.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
All right, guy. You take care of yourself, man. We'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.